And let's see, Jack O'Brien in my review of the Ben 10 movie Race Against Time says goodbye and good riddance isn't canon, and neither is this. The episode was originally meant to be a what if, like the Gwen 10 episode was. Whereas Ultimate Alien made this non-canon. Also, I actually liked the effects on Heat Blast more than Gray Matter. To each their own. To each their own. Because keep in mind that when they first started the original Ben 10, there wasn't actually plans to make Alien Force. Not until they were almost done with Season 4. It wasn't until they were almost done with Season 4. And by that point, the Goodbye and Good Riddance episode had already been written. Meaning that this was basically originally how Vilgax was supposed to go out. That was supposed to be how Vilgax was going to go out. If it was just the original series, that was Vilgax's death. That's how it was supposed to be, but they eventually had to make Alien Force, and so they're like, okay, we're gonna retcon this and say that isn't canon. So, like, that was originally canon. That was their original plan, to have that episode be canon, have that be how Vilgax dies. But due to the sequel series coming out, they had to retcon that. But that was canon. That was canon at one point. And as far as your whole opinion on Heat Blast versus Gray Matter, to each their own. I personally think that the effects on Heat Blast didn't age well. I don't think that... honestly, the effects of all of these did not age well. Honestly, I think that the only one that still looks slightly okay is Diamond Head. Gray Matter, honestly, nowadays looks pretty ugly. And Wild Mutt was always the worst looking one. But yeah, I liked Gray Matter and Diamond Head a bit more, but I think that Diamond Head is the only one that still really holds up even a little bit. But to each their own. You can have your own opinion, Jack. Okay, that's a really long comment about my Ben 10. I've already read enough comments about my Ben 10 theory, so maybe I'll save that for another one. But Alan O'Malley sent in a comment on my Ben 10 terrible theory. So if you want to read that for yourself, go check it out. Alan O'Malley. So you can read it if you want. Let's see. Reckless King actually placed 2 comments. He says, you only have 100 subscribers, BC. Your quality is horrible. Ha! Joke's on you. I have 130 subscribers now. And then he says, you're terrible. And I'm just going to tell you what I replied to this. I find hate comments like this to be very constructive and motivating. I've learned to take the good and the bad with pride, so thank you for your words. That is how I will respond to any hater. Anyone who wants to throw hate comments at me, I am more than willing to take those hate comments. Like, those comments are only going to reinforce my determination. It's only going to make me stronger. So, please, go ahead and hate on me. Please. I welcome it. I welcome it because it will make me better. Cryonet says in my Danny Phantom theory, really, I do not think they are demons. The animator made them what they are, and besides, it is just a cartoon. Anything can happen. Well, that's true, but part of the fun about cartoons is that you get to theorize about them. That's why you see so many people loving theories about like cartoons and anime and game theory. Game theory has over 12 million subscribers at this point. I think it's 12 million or 11 million. They have a shit ton of subscribers. And it's incredibly popular. Theorizing is a fun thing to do. And that's just what I do on my channel. I theorize, and I know some of these are bad theories. That's why I decided to call the show Terrible Theories, because I know some of these theories are going to be horrible. Some of these aren't really going to make a lot of sense. I know that. Oh, plus I've also been told that I have a pretty good sense of humor, and honestly, I don't know. I wanted a word that began with a T, so I could have like the initials for the theories be TT, but I couldn't think of anything, and then the first thing that popped in my head was like terrible. So I'm like, okay, yeah, sure, go ahead. But yeah, a little behind the scenes. Let me see. In my series summary for season 1 of Gotham, Emelino says, "Edit out your fucking yawning. Really, this was fucking awful. Recap. Fuck your opinion right now, because you're like Rialt annoying when you talk." Rialt. I think you mean really? I think you meant to put a Y there instead of a T. You're really annoying when you talk, by the way. Well, thank you. Thank you. And I placed the exact same comment for him about how I find hate comments very constructive. And he replies, "Now I feel like a real asshole. Sorry, man, you're gonna do great." I don't know if he's being sarcastic. I don't know if he's being sarcastic or if he's being serious. Could be either. It could be either. But I'm going to assume that he is actually being serious. That he is actually being supportive now. I'm gonna see the good, and I'm gonna assume that he's actually being supportive. So thank you for your apology. No worries about the insult. I can take it. I can take it. If I end up screwing up, do not hesitate to point it out. Please, do not hesitate to point out my mess ups, because I'm gonna end up messing up quite a bit. What time do we have? Oh wow, yeah, this is gonna be like a 2-parter, definitely. Let's see. For my terrible theory on The Legend of Korra Secret Family Tree, which was a bad theory that I did. It was just a weird little theory that I wanted to do, like a crackpot theory in a sense. Excuse me. I love Mountain Dew. Bernie Green says, "You should do a vlog for the Avatar Last Airbender series." And I probably will, given how I talked about this in a couple videos and asked you guys if you think I should do a vlog series on Last Airbender or Legend of Korra. 2 people said that I should do Last Airbender. So I might end up doing a vlog series of Last Airbender, but not until after I do the Sonic Sat AM vlogs, and not until I start on another vlog series that I actually have planned for you guys. And it's gonna start off as a short one, but it's gonna be an ongoing vlog series that's gonna go on for I don't know how many years. But it's going to be an ongoing vlog series. So, yeah, you can look forward to that. Let's see. Let's see. Omnitrix Master 23 says in my Ben 10 Terrible Theory, I vote for alternate dimension. To each their own. If you want to believe that, that's fine. Sadly, we've already gotten confirmation about how it takes place in the same timeline. I wish it wasn't so, honestly. Phantom Network says on my Danny Phantom theory, God, those two just won't leave me alone. Like, those two seem to be my most popular videos. Phantom Network says interesting theory, although I don't believe it. Well, that's okay. To each their own. If you don't believe that, that's fine. At least At least you found it interesting. That's more than enough for me. In my final Kenichi chapter review, God, I remember back when I did those. Yeah, those were a thing. Oh God, those were bad. Oh boy, back when this channel was first starting off. Oh God, those were terrible. Sergio Barrios, I'm sorry if I didn't pronounce your name right, says, talk about Pokemon. The problem with that is that Pokemon is a minefield. You cannot talk about it without upsetting a ton of people. Pokemon actually scares me. The thought of talking about that actually scares me because I know if I say one wrong thing, suddenly hundreds of people could be mad at me, and I only have 130 subscribers. I don't want to lose those subscribers by finding out that I have a different opinion than any of them. I do love Pokemon. It's a great franchise, great games, great manga, great anime. I just prefer the original series over any of the new stuff. The games I stopped playing after Silver and Gold. I stopped playing after that. Silver, Gold, and Crystal. I stopped playing the games after that. I didn't play Ruby and Sapphire. And same thing with the anime. I basically stopped watching after the five series that covered the original series. Once those 5 shows were done, I just stopped watching entirely. I still sometimes I still find myself reading the manga from time to time, though. The manga, Pokemon Adventures specifically. I do like that. That is a very good manga. But I don't know. Maybe someday. Maybe someday I'll talk about Pokemon, but not in the near future, sadly. So